Most people are buying cases at the wrong time, and they are overpaying every single week without even realizing it. And the reason for that is simple: they don't understand how the market actually moves, because in reality there is a clear pattern that repeats every single week, and once you understand it, you can consistently buy cases for cheaper than the majority of players. Every Tuesday night or Wednesday morning the weekly drop cycle resets. This is when players receive their weekly case drops. Just by playing the game, they instantly sell their cases for cheap because they want quick Steam balance. They don't care about long-term value, and when thousands of players do this at the same time, it creates a sudden increase in supply on the market. And basic market logic applies here. When supply goes up, prices go down. That's why right after the weekly reset, you'll usually see a noticeable dip in prices on the Steam market. And in many cases, prices on third-party sites are even cheaper because those markets react faster and have lower fees. To give you a real example, take the Dreams and Nightmares case. Earlier in the week, for example on Friday, the price sits around 1.80 to 1.95. But after the weekly reset, when new supply floods the market, the price dropped closer to 1.65. Now that might not seem like a huge difference at first, but if you're buying in volume or repeating this every week, that gap adds up very quickly. And this is exactly what a lot of traders are doing. Instead of buying randomly, they wait for the reset. They wait for the moment when the market is flooded with listings, and then they buy when prices are low. There's also a key timing window. Most listings tend to happen between around 10 o'clock and 18 o'clock when more players are active and selling the drops. So if you're trying to optimize your entries, this is usually where you want to pay attention. And if you track this over multiple weeks, you'll start to notice that this isn't random. But this strategy mainly applies to active drop cases. For non-active cases, the approach is completely different. These cases are no longer dropping, which means the supply is slowly decreasing over time. Because of that, their prices aren't driven by weekly resets anymore. Instead, they move based on things like updates, hype, tournaments, or overall market sentiment. This isn't financial advice, but if you start paying attention to these cycles, you'll have a clear advantage over most players who are just buying randomly. Now, here's where most people mess up. They see the price starting to go back up again, and that's when they buy. Because it feels safe, it feels like the market is recovering, but that's exactly the wrong moment to enter, because by the time prices start going up again, the cheap entries are already gone. You're no longer buying early, you're buying after everyone else already bought. And that's why most people feel like they're always late, not because the market is random, but because they're reacting instead of timing it. The best opportunities don't look exciting. They usually happen when the market looks boring or even slightly dead, when prices are low, when nobody is talking about it. That's when you want to pay attention. And one more thing, this pattern isn't something you'll notice if you only check prices once in a while. You have to actually watch it week by week, because once you start noticing the timing, you realize it's not random at all. It's repeating behavior. And the people who understand that are the ones getting better entries over time.